It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang. What to do, everyday people, man? Thank you, everybody, for joining the live. That was a quick recap of where we left off on this video. Man, if y'all don't think this woman is nuts by now, I don't know what to tell you. I don't even know how y'all survive. I would have choked her out my damn self. Like, where the crazy uncle at? You know what I'm saying? What's up, everybody in the chat? You gotta hit that like button, man. Show your boy some love. Share this out to your friends and family. We about to go through this. But yeah, that was just a recap, man. And I mean, you know, when I be watching this, I be like, bro, I would have popped this. I would have popped him. You know what I'm saying? He would have had to go. And somebody says, it was a person in the comments, said this may be the comedian T. Murphy. Hello, Virgin Island. Hello, Ray. But yeah, I was like, interesting. So I looked up T. Murphy, and they gave reasons to why they think it's him, but I don't know who he is. He don't seem that famous, but I don't want to just throw people out there. But there's been a lot of names, and none of them seem to match up to who this person is, except that guy. But again, I think he may have had some traction, but the way he's acting, you know, when he's with his kids, and I think that shows how he is in the industry. And yeah, I don't know if she reported anything. I guess we're gonna get to it. Okay, so let's get into this next part, and we're gonna watch it. So I hope y'all got y'all popcorn ready. I just sprung this on y'all. Y'all like, got it. Hey, but
I left off when my baby daddy is telling my daughter to fix her face. She better not say anything about what he had just done to her. If you guys are just joining me, my baby daddy is a comedian, and the jokes are on me. So he's telling her, fix your face. You better not say anything to your mother. You better go upstairs. You better close your room and get yourself together, and you better not say anything. So I'm hearing this all as he's pulling up to the house. I have already called the police, and I'm waiting I'm hoping that the police show up at the same time. But he gets out, he pulls up to the house. I said, I heard everything you said. I heard everything you said. I'm reporting you. And he was like, you ain't gonna do SHIT. You don't never do SHIT. And I was like, okay. He's like, because you are a liar. Ain't nothing happened. She's home and she's fine. And I look at my baby, and I can see her face is swollen, but her eyes are dry. I look at my baby. She has bruises on her leg. You can see where he was twisting her arm. So I'm trying to wait for the police. The police come. I file a police report. After I file the police report, I take her immediately to the emergency room. I file a claim with DCFS. DCFS interviewed both of my children. They interviewed me. Then they were sending out agents to him. I called the police to have an escort because he wouldn't give her back her Uggs, her Coach purse, her computer, and Uggs, Coach purse, computer, and it was one other thing. So I had a police escort drive me to his house, and by the time I got to his house with the police, he wasn't there. So the police go knocking on his door, and his girlfriend comes to the door, and she's like, hi, what's going on? And they ask for him, and he's not there. So I was like, well, if he's not there, tell her to give me my baby stuff. And she's like, oh, it's no problem. It's no problem. So she goes and gives all the stuff to the police officer, and the police officer gives me back all her stuff. And he's like, did you file a report? I said, yeah, I filed a report at my house before I went to the emergency room and before I asked for an escort to come over here to get the rest of her things. And they're like, you have to follow through. I'm like, I'm absolutely following through. I'm definitely going to do that. So I followed through. So then now there is months and months of DCFS coming up to the school interviewing my baby. They didn't even let me know that they were interviewing them. The only reason why I knew they were being interviewed is because is because my kids will come home like, mommy, so-and-so called me during my break period to talk about so-and-so. I'm like, they didn't even inform me. They would pop up at my house unannounced, like going through my house. And these people walking up, and they supposed to be like finding out what's going on. She walking, oh, your house is so nice. Oh, this is this and this is that. I'm like, ma'am, get to the point. Okay, get to the point. What have y'all done about this man? So that's why I was like, hands down, my daughter is not seeing him no more. No, not at any time. And there was even one time where it was some months after that, he had come to the house unannounced, and my baby had an iPad. Now I am coming down the stairs. I'm like, what are you doing here? So I come out the gate. She has her iPad, and he's like, I'm just coming to see the kids. I'm like, you cannot come see them. So he's like, I can't see my kids whenever I want to. So somehow something happens, and my son has a shake in his hand. My daughter has her brand new iPad in her hand. Do you know this man walks up to my baby because he says she did something disrespectful and slams her iPad out of her hand. It crashes on the ground. My son shakes, spills all over the place. And he was like, I told you you're not going to disrespect me. Had to call the police and make another police report. I'm like, this man, you got to stay away from my daughter. You like, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you doing this to my little girl? She is not a grown woman. Whatever these women did to you in the past, she didn't do that. Stay away from my baby. And y'all, every time something like that happens, I'm ready to jump or ready to fight this man. But I have to keep in mind, my children are watching, number one. Number two, he a whole man. And I should not be fighting a man, but it makes me want to fight a man. So those are the reasons why I'm like, absolutely, hands down, my daughter, I don't care if you say, mommy, I miss seeing my daddy. You are like, you're not going to see him. I'm so sorry. You can't see my baby. Like, you just can't, you can't see him. You can't see him, baby. And I know it feels cruel because your emotions change and your feelings change. And because it's been a year or so, you forget about it and you just miss him. No, you can't do it. However, all of this horrible stuff that he does to my daughter, and everybody has a theory of why, and I agree with some of those theories 1000% for some, because of some other things that happened that I'm not going to share. He doesn't do it to my son. Like, he never, if anything, he over cares for my son and over babies him. My son has to tell him, Dad, I can do this myself. Dad, I'm okay. Dad, I'm a big boy. I can handle this. So it's the total opposite. There has never been one situation from the moment that my son came out of me that he has harmed him in any way, talked to him in a derogatory way. He's maybe fussed at him or yelled at him, but that's the harshest thing he's ever done to my son, besides doing things to my daughter in front of my son. So my son is trying to separate the kindness that he's shown from the horror that he sees with his sister, and still loving,
Son
his dad.
End up whooping his ass when he get older.
It was things that he wanted to share with his dad that he didn't want to share with me until I let him know you can share anything with me. Like, he started growing some hairs in some places, and he wanted to tell his dad because he's like, Mom, you don't have those parts. So I wanted to tell somebody who has those parts. So I'm trying to struggle with the idea of allowing him to see him. So finally I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and let you see your dad, but your sister is not coming. He's not to see your sister. And I was like, are you okay with that? He was like, yes, I'm okay with that because it keeps her safe. He said, yes, I'm okay with that because it keeps her safe, y'all. And I'm just like,
this chick.
Now I'm like, I don't even want you to see him because I don't want you picking up these behaviors. If in your mind you're saying it keeps her safe, you know that the things that your father is doing are horrible. And I don't want, for some reason, these things to rub off on you. So now I'm super perplexed. Like, wait a minute. You
Still
know,
gonna let him go over there.
do I like scar him by not allowing him to see his father because he loves his dad? Or am I scarring him by allowing him to see his dad because he may pick up those traits? And I am stuck in a position where I don't wish this on anybody, because I really honestly don't know what to do. So the only thing that I can think is to let him see his dad while I'm in his presence. And then it became a part where I don't need any supervision while I'm seeing my kid. And I'm like, well, then you won't see him. And like, I'm becoming a whole stalker, y'all. Like, he's like, I'm going to McDonald's, and I'm going too. You know what I'm saying? He's like, well, we're going to go to the park. Well, I'm going to the park too. And he's like, it's been times where I've been just sitting in my car like a creep, like watching his interaction with my son, because my son is begging me to see his dad. Mommy, please, I want to tell daddy about this. I want to tell daddy about this. Mommy, please, I want to hang out with my pops. And I'm like, okay, so now I have to turn into a whole entire stalker. And like a couple times, I think he saw me. He's like telling people, oh, she wants me so bad that she's following me. I don't want you. I want to make sure that you're not harming my son. Like, what are you talking about? So the whole time I'm allowing my son to see him, I have a tracker on his phone, and I am legit following him like a stalker, like a legit stalker. And I'm just like, I have to find out where my baby is going, what my baby is doing, if my baby is okay. My daughter is safe with my mom.
Are you okay with all this
So we
mess?
left off talking about how I'm just trying to monitor my son when he's with his dad, because he still wanted to see his dad. Well, it got to a point where he came to me. He's like, Ma, you know what? If my sister's not coming, I don't really want to go hang out with my dad. And I was like, well, tell me why. Because I'm relieved. But I'm still like giving him space to speak. He says, well, when I'm with him, we play video games and stuff, but he's on his phone. Or we'll go bike riding and he's on his phone. Or like he'll take me to the park and he just sits there on his phone, and I don't have anybody to play with. And with me, when I'm with my kids, if they're at the park, I'm in the park playing with them. Honey, if we are in the corn maze, I'm in the corn maze with them. If we in that big bucket of corn, I'm right in there with them, okay? So he's used to that kind of parenting, and that just wasn't happening. He's like, well, I still love my dad. And I'm like, you absolutely should still love your dad, because I've always been the parent that's like, I'm not going to talk bad about your dad to you, because I want y'all to have your own painted picture of him, not something that I created. So if you decide that he's not a great man, that's because you've seen him in action and you know that to be true, not because of what I said. So I'm totally okay with it. His next birthday comes around and he goes, hey, Mom, I want a big birthday present, and I want our traditional birthday breakfast and then just a small dinner instead of a birthday party. I'm totally cool with it. I'm actually ecstatic about it because I ain't got to do a whole lot. So that's what we're planning. He's like, I don't want him at our birthday breakfast before school, but I would like for him to come to the dinner. And I'm like, okay. So what I'll do is I'll have us get there early, not early, on time, whatever time, and then I'll give him a time where we've eaten already and it's just about time to cut the cake. So he'll be there to cut the cake and we keep it moving, and that's it. Because he has been known to come to dinners and eat and not pay for it, okay?
Dining and dashing.
That was the plan. 2 weeks before my son's birthday, he decides, you know what, I want to party. I said, okay, all right, we can do that. Let's just switch it out real quick. So I start planning for the party. 2 weeks is enough time, so it's cool. So I'm talking to everybody. I'm inviting the kids' grandparents. This is what y'all need to know. His step-parents, which are my children's grandparents, they have been nothing but good to my children since they found out that they existed, because my daughter was walking and talking before they knew that she was there. Their older sister found out that she had a little sister because she went to the grandparents' house and was like, who is that baby who pictures that baby? Who is that? And the grandparents was like, oh, that's your sister. She's like, wait, I got a sister? Yeah. So the older sister, the grandparents, and then his brother and sister from the step parents are off limits. They've been nothing but kind to me. They literally have been kind to my children. They've always come when I've invited them to something. You know, the grandparents, when I tell you don't miss a holiday or a birthday, I don't care if they don't see them for months. They will hold on to that gift until they see my kids. So grandparents, 100% on point, and I love them, and my children love them. Their aunt and uncle from the grandparents, love them too. They've been nothing but kind and nice to me and my children. Their older sister, nothing but nice and kind and respectful to me. So literally, those people are completely off limit. Anybody else, please miss me with anything you have to say, because you have not come to a function. You don't know nothing about my kids. You don't know nothing about how your family member has treated my children. So please be gone and miss me with that. So anyway, he wanted his big sister there. And she was like, oh my gosh, I would have come home from school if I knew that. And my son was super sad. So I was like, okay, I'm going to pay for you to come home so you can come to the party. So my son was elated. And she's like, oh my goodness. I'm like, of course, you know I'm going to do that. So she comes, but I didn't tell her that her dad wasn't invited. That's on me. So the birthday party comes around, and she walks in with my baby daddy and the youngest sister. And I'm like, dear Lord Jesus, in thy great name, please be peace. So I have made it a point to completely 1000% ignore him as if he is not there. I mean, this man walked in like he was the father of all fathers, all in my face. I looked straight through him. Literally, the only time I even said something to him was when I said, oh, you brought your youngest daughter, you're going to have to buy her a wristband. That was it. So when I told him that, you know, he walked off like he was going to do it. I completely ignored him. We sang happy birthday, cut the cake, passed the ice cream out, passed out the party bags, all that. Always make extra party bags, so that was cool. Now, mind you, it's 50 children there. My daughter has invited her friends, and my son invited his whole class, okay? And some other classes too. So we got 50 kids. I've got the wristbands for 50 children, not 51. So I've already told him he needs to buy her a wristband. Well, after all that, I've got a long line, like a school line, with children and their bands and their arms reached out for their bands. I'm putting the bands on their arms, and I see his daughter, and I'm like, hey, before she got up to me with her arm out, I stepped back for a second. I said, hey, I think daddy has your band. You should go ask your dad. So she walks over to her dad. He sends her back to the line. Well, there's one thing I'm not going to do, and it's totally off limits. I'm not going to mistreat a baby. Okay? I'm going to talk to the parent. I'm going to tell them. I'm going to try to stop a situation before it happens. But if we get to the point where you're next in line and you got your arm out for a band, baby, I'm putting a band on your arm. Like, you ain't got nothing to do with this adult drama. So no, ma'am, Pam, we're not mistreating children. I don't care. So I give her a band, which makes me a band short. But it's okay, because I'm like, okay, the other girl is, the last person is still, I don't know what they were doing. They weren't in the line. So I was like, hey, you need to buy another band. It's $45. They said it. Immediately, as soon as he did that, I totally turned my head and walked away. I'm like, we're not doing this. So I'm walking over to where the kid is waiting for the band. And also, it was something else I had to hand out with the bands. So I had that in my hand. I'm walking over to the kid. And I was like, hey, follow me to the cashier so I can get your band. So I'm walking over to the cashier to pay for the band. He's following me, y'all. I'm like, I'm not saying nothing to you. I'm done. I'm not saying anything to you. So I buy the band. I put the band on the other kid. I'm like, okay, it's time to have fun. You guys only got 3 hours or whatever time, 2 hours or whatever time it was. So they walk down. As I'm walking down the stairs, he's now walking up the stairs. He reaches in his pocket and pulls out his wallet like he's about to give me the money. So I said, it's $45. So as I'm saying it's $45, he starts, you ain't gonna tell me when to get the money. I'm gonna give you the money when I'm ready. I completely ignored him as if he were a vapor in the air and walked down the stairs, left him standing on them stairs talking to himself. I grabbed 2 little kids' hands, helped them down the stairs, got to the bottom of the stairs, picked one up, swung them around, and walked them over to the go-karts. I ain't got time for this. I'm not playing with you. You weren't even invited. So my daughter and her friends, it's like 10 of her friends, they're playing around having a good time. So they're in line for like the laser tag or something like that. So because they all 10 of them want to go in at the same time. So one of the girls had left and gone to the bathroom, and she scooted her way back through the line to get with the group of 10. Now there was an adult behind her that said, you can't just jump the line. My daughter turns around and says, we're children. Now she's saying we're children because they're all the same height. So she's trying to let her know that, hey, we're kids too. Like, we're in line because we're kids. The lady looks at her and says, I don't care about, you know, you guys being children. Now, I'm across the room. I can see and vaguely hear what they're saying, and I'm trying to make my way over there. I see my baby daddy on the other side of them. I see him trotting around the whole situation and walking over to me and saying, she's talking to an adult, and an adult is saying blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so you left the situation with our daughter to walk around to come and talk to me and tell me? I didn't say that to him, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, instead of you handling the situation, you literally leave the situation to come over here and try to make it a moment to talk to me? Boy, bye. So I walk over to the lady. I was like, hey, I was explaining, my daughter was explaining to you that she's a child. No, I was saying I don't care about them being no kids. They jump in line. I'm like, hey, it's 10 of them. They're all together. This is a kid place, and you're an adult. And if you have a problem or an issue with my daughter, or if she's disrespecting you, you know, let me know so I can handle it, because I'm not going to approach your child. I'm going to approach you. And she's like, I'm just saying. I said, hey, we're in a kids party. This is a kids place. We're not going to argue and get loud. We're not doing that. Because when people start getting loud at me, I have learned to get to a point where I get low and slow and steady. I'm not going to match your energy, honey.
Baby, so daddy is
talking to the lady,
weirdo.
And I'm trying to explain to her, like, hey, I'm not gonna be loud. I'm not gonna be rowdy. This doesn't have to be an argument. This can be, we come to a quick resolution. You know, I told her, I said, hey, I know that my daughter, she talks assertively, and then also she got a little spice behind her. So I'm gonna have her apologize. Before I can say have her apologize, my baby daddy's like, yeah, because she being disrespectful. The lady looked at him like, who is this man? And I said, that's her dad. And the lady said, so he was sitting here the whole time and didn't say nothing? I said, listen, let's try to resolve this. My daughter apologized. You can go ahead of us. She's like, no, it's no problem. It's okay. I said, well, you made a point to say something to the children about one of the kids trying to catch up in line, so we want you to go first. So go ahead of us. So she goes ahead of us. And then I take that opportunity to take the kids' pictures, which I'll insert right here. They're so cute. Because one thing about me, honey, I'm going to take some pictures. I'm going to document every single situation with some pictures. Now, it's only going to be selfies of me because I'm the one taking the pictures. But I can tell a story with my pictures. That's why my camera storage is bananas.
Everything
okay?
Except documenting
so
why your baby daddy should be around.
Everything's going smoothly. That's the only little incident that we have. So towards the end of the night, I realized, you know, the kids are getting picked up. So, honey, I'm checking them off the list to make sure every kid is accounted for. I'm like, hey, before you pick your kids up, make sure you talk to me and say I'm getting this kid. So we did that. We get down to the end of the night where it's just me, my best friends, and my mom, and their kids. And then also I have the neighbor kid because his mom is she's ill. So since he was a little boy, I've always taken him to anything fun that we do. So they had a good time, baby. They was tired. We get in the car. They packed up stuff. Baby, knocked all of them out. I knew it because 15 minutes into the drive, all of a sudden we were having car karaoke and it's silent. They was knocked out, which means we had a good time. So because they were sleeping, it gave me a moment to reflect. And I was like, wait a minute. Y'all, he tried to come and start some drama and he couldn't start it. And then he kind of just disappeared into the bushes like Homer Simpson. And I never seen him for the rest of the day. And everybody had a great time. And there was no drama and no issue. Why? Because I didn't feed into his madness. I said, So that's when I realized, like, this whole time, like, this man has been trying to, quote unquote, humble me. He's been trying to demean me by talking about what I wear, how I wear my hair. He tried to talk about my cleanliness, even though, honey, I ain't never seen a tub full of Cocoa Puff milk until he moved in with me. Okay? He tried to talk about my family not having functions and doing things. We were having plenty of functions. I was just too embarrassed to bring you because you look nice standing there, but as soon as you open your mouth, you're going to embarrass me and my whole family. I'm not doing it, boo. He tried to talk about just anything. He tried to change my location to isolate me, y'all, and I wouldn't let it happen. Like, imagine him. He's telling me, you don't know responsibility, and you don't know how to take care of yourself because you always living in your family building. You need to get an apartment by yourself that's not your family property. Why, sir? Why would I do that? And I got your 2 kids and you not helping me. Why would I leave the help I have? Why? Because he wanted to isolate me and I wasn't going for it. So I'm like, this whole time I have had the spotlight on myself trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong when it was supposed to be on him, because he is the issue, right? Because you can't take somebody who's raised on love and affection and communication skills and, kindness and pair that with somebody who's been raised on survival and not eating enough and having to fight to protect themselves and not knowing where their next anything is going to come from. You can't pair those 2 people together without some intense therapy. And I was so busy trying to change me so that we could fit that I didn't even see that I'm not the problem. So I said, okay, all right. So this is going to make me back up a little bit. So we're going to back all the way up to where he's living in the house with me, saying that he wants to be a family, yet he had just taken his girlfriend on a birthday trip. If you guys haven't seen that story, you can go back and watch my stories to get all the details about that. That's around the time
where I was terrible.
I
that you would go through this.
I need to hang out more with my friends, and I need to date. But like, how? You know what I'm saying? Because once you miss a couple years out of the dating scene, baby, it's a whole new world out there. So I really don't know what to do. So my first step is to
don't create no more babies.
Learn how to juggle being a mom of 2 children, getting them set up, and then being able to, do things for myself. So I'm trying to juggle that. Then once that happens, I'm like, okay, I got to get work into the mix. All right. So now let me try to carve some time for myself. So that's when I was like, let me hang out with my friends. Let's see if I can make new friends. Let's see if I could try to date. Well, all I was doing was going to work, coming home, taking care of kids, going back to work, coming home, taking care of kids again. And I'm like, so how am I going to, what am I going to do? So the first thing I did was, there was this guy at my job. Now, I'm a tall girl. He was about 6'3". He looked like I like them to look, okay? Well dressed, smell very good. Remember this. So we're working together, we're hanging out. Now I'm attracted to intelligence. That's really, so how I get my baby daddy, I don't know, y'all. So that's really what I'm attracted to. And I'm talking to him. He speaks 5 different languages. He has an accent, and it's not quite. It's not an English accent, but it's not I don't know how to explain it, but it's I like it. And my mom taught me a little bit of French, so he was helping me brush up on my French. We were spending a lot of time because we were placed in the same work area, and he was cool people. So he started to get to a point where he's like, hey, can I take you out? I'm like, no. First of all, I'm not ready to be taken out on a date, with you. And second of all, boy, you can't tell me you ain't searching every hole in this place. And he was laughing about it. He's like, well, how about we just go out as friends? And I was like, that's perfect, because, I'm not trying to date you, number one, because I don't like to date where I work. Number two, I'm not really ready to do that. there's a whole person. And he knew about that because I was telling him about it. So we decide we're going to go to breakfast, y'all.
She would date because of her baby daddy.
So I said, I'm going to drop the kids off.
Lord.
They're going to go to school.
Nigga, the bar is low.
Then we're going to go to breakfast. That way, we go to breakfast, hang out, still got time to go get the kids, come back home. So I'm calling him. I'm like, hey, I'm on my way to drop the kids off. I'll be there shortly. We agreed upon a time. I get there a couple minutes early, which I try to do because I want to see him walk in. So I'm waiting, and I see a bunch of people going in. I don't see him. So I sent him a text message. I'm like, hey, I'm here. And he's like, me too. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe he's on his way. So let me get out of the car. So I get out of the car, and I walk up to the place. And I'm looking around. I'm like, I don't see him. So I text him. I said, I don't see you. He says, I'm looking at you. So I look back up. Y'all, please tell me why this man had on the foot of his stocking tied in a little knot back here. He had on a red cap with the iridescent goldish greenish sticker. There was a tag hanging off the hat. As I looked down further, he had on like a FUBU or Fila zip-up red jacket with white racer straps going down the side of the jacket, with a yellow and white shirt sticking out. Then I saw underwear. Then I saw jeans that were too big and too tight, because around the waist they were sagging and his underwear was showing, and then they were scrunched up and tight at the calf. And jokes are on me.
Straight out of city trends.
So I walk in.
Tight ass calf
He tells
pants.
me that he's looking at me. I look up again. I saw the foot of a stocking on his head, tied in a little knot back here. Then he had on a red cap with an iridescent gold and greenish color sticker on the brim of the hat. There was a tag sticking from somewhere over here, not sure. Then we get down to the jacket, which is red. I don't know if it was Fila or FUBU, but it had white racer stripes down the arm. And as I gaze down, I see that there is a yellow and white shirt sticking from underneath the red racer jacket. And then I see underwear. But the pants are really confusing me, because the pants are too big and too tight at the same time, because the waist of the pants are too large, so his underwear are showing.
40 years sagging. Old wearing skinny jeans.
And then they're tight and scrunched around the calves and legs. And they're a stonewash, like blue or stonewash grayish color. Tiny little patches all over the entire jeans from top to bottom. Different colors, green, yellows, they're all patches. Then I looked at his feet. And he has on what looks like grandpa house shoes, but somehow they were outside shoes, and they were suede, and they were red, and they laced up. Then he walks over to me.
Yeah, those some hey dudes.
I'm taken aback. So I'm trying to fix my face, because literally my face talks before I do. So I have to control my face, not my mouth. So I go to hug him, and immediately when I smell him, it takes me back to about 1993, sitting on the second pew of my grandfather's church while my grandfather preached, and the deacon is on the front seat fanning himself, and the whiff of that deacon's cologne is coming back on me.
He was
and the deacon had to be about 60.
Some Javon Musk looking at.
I'm sitting here like I am perplexed.
Deacon wearing some cool water.
At work, you look nice every day. You smell good every day. What happened? Then y'all, I realized, well, we wear uniforms at work. So of course he's gonna look nice, because he orders the uniforms. Also, There's a perfumery there. So every day he's going over there squirting on new perfume colognes. These aren't the ones that he has at home. So y'all, I'm sitting
Lord
down
have
like,
mercy.
what have I done? But it's breakfast time. It's
He
early.
was wearing brute.
It's that gap right between, when everybody has gone to work and right before lunch. So I'm cool. We cool. So we're sitting down, but he has great conversation. He is my friend. He is friendly. We're joking. Everything is cool. So I try to just overlook that. Okay. I said we had a good time. He's like, me too. And he said, but we should go out to dinner. And I'm really going to show you then. Show me what, sir? Show me what? But I agree to go with him because I'm trying to get out there. I'm trying to get myself back. Y'all.
Woo, the red flags.
First of all, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I didn't have clothes that fit me, because I had lost so much weight after having
Old
babies.
Spice.
So most of my clothes were a little bit too big, and then also they weren't like, the style had changed. So I didn't have a lot of clothes either. So I had like just a little cute sweater dress. We just going to one of my favorite restaurants at the time, the Grand Lux. So I'm like, okay, so I put on a little cute sweater dress, some tights, you can't go wrong, right? Some cute little heel boots. We good.
Mm.
Yo. So we get to the Grand Lux and I get upstairs and I see that he's slipping, right? And I'm like, that's the first thing I see. Then I look up, baby, and this man has on the first generation pinstripe Steve Harvey suit, baby. I am At this point, I am in tears. I am laughing so hard I can't even hold it together. I'm like, Tyra, don't walk up on this man because no.
Not the
Then
double
I get
breasted.
closer and I see that the collar's on his shirt. I'm trying to figure out, is it a woman's collar because it's so open and it's like long and squared? Then I'm like, okay, it's not a woman's collar because from the back, I can see his arm and the sleeves are like sticking this far out of his uh jacket.
He got a temptation
So I know for a
shirt.
fact that it's a male shirt because it's supposed to have cufflinks on it, but he doesn't have cufflinks on it.
Oh Lord.
And he got on some shoes that looked like before he came out, he took a roller and rolled the toe of those shoes up and let it set so that when he came out, they'd be curled at the toe. Baby, I couldn't even believe it. I was in so much shock. I had to tell him, y'all. I was like, hey, we friends, right? He's like, yeah, of course. Why? I said, because you can't be walking outside in public like this. Sir, you look like you Googled what do Americans wear / hip hop. You can't come outside like this, sir. It's not going to work. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take you to get fitted, and I'm going to also show you some options. Now, just so y'all know, while I was pregnant with my daughter, I picked up a second job at Macy's, and I used to be a fitter. Like I would fit the suits and pick out suits for men and all that. Girl, the commission was crazy, literally crazy. I should have stayed there except for I had to have a baby. But so I took him to a couple of stores downtown. I had him get fitted, and I told him I was like, every month, save you a little bit of money, get you an outfit, whether it's a nice suit, whether it's a good outfit. Okay, FaceTime me or call me so I can help you because I can't have you out here looking like this and you my friend. That's just wrong. Y'all, it got to a point where like every month he was like, come on, let's go shopping. And honey, I'm going too because he was buying me stuff too. So I'm like, okay. So it became a thing where like we would hang out,
Mm.
we would go shopping, we'd get things. We were just having fun, but everybody at work swore up and down that we were together and that we were smashing, and it wasn't that case. Like people were whispering, and then I had some people come up to me. It's like, well, that he's sleeping with so and so, so and so, so and so. I'm like, yeah, I do know because he told me. Like, what are y'all talking about? He used to come through. Oh, this used to make them so mad because he used to come through and I'd be working, and he slide me his card and say, go get yourself some lunch. And he's like, when you see me next, give it back to me. So you could not tell everybody that I work with that we weren't together. Like, and if something happened, like he had got a notification during work that his family member had passed, and I'm the first person he came to because he was literally about to lose it. Y'all, they was whispering at work, whisper, whisper, whisper. They together. She messing with him. He messing with her. Whole time we laughing at all of them because we know what the real deal is. And plus, he telling me about all the women he's smashing. Like I know about all of the women, not just in our sector, in other sectors as well. So I'm
Mm.
like, y'all, whatever. So that was like my first introduction to like kind of getting back out there and then talking to a male who was kind, who was generous, who was like paid attention to me. Like he would bring me flowers to work. He would like buy me lunches every day. Like if I had an issue or I wasn't feeling well that day, he'd take care of it. So that was the first time I'm being reintroduced to the kindness of a man without me having to do something, because I had gotten accustomed with my baby daddy to trying to do things to make him be kind to me, or trying to look a certain way so he'd like it, or trying to do a certain thing so that he's like, hey, I want to spend time with you. So that's the first time that I'm realizing, okay, Tara, you are good. And also the first time that I'm like, I'm starting to really remember that I'm attractive, because literally, y'all, he tried to make me feel like I was so ugly. Like he literally nitpicked at everything. He wanted me so bad to believe that I was unattractive and that nobody else would want me and that he was the only one that wanted me. And for a minute I was questioning, like, do I look okay? Like I couldn't see my own beauty. And then plus beauty comes from within. And the so we left off talking about how I had to help my friend. He could not be walking around like that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch my other videos. You'll see. If this is your first time joining me, my baby daddy is a comedian and the jokes are on me. So at this point, my main concern is trying to get my Stella back, okay? Trying to get my groove back, trying to get into the swing of things and get back to me. So there was this particular time, remember y'all, I had rewinded all the way back to when my baby daddy was still in the house. I had my room, he was off in the maid quarters in his own room, own bathroom, own everything. So we were just like crossing each other in the hallway. So this one particular time I had run into one of our old friends. Like I was downtown, I stopped in the Payless to get like a pair of sandals, or to look for a pair of sandals for my baby. So I go into there, I shoot the breeze with dude. I'm like, oh, okay, nice to see you, blah, 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 blah. So I come. Now, I'm telling y'all, I am completely ignoring him. Like, I'm trying minimal conversations. If it ain't about pick up or drop off of the kids or something, or I need to go to work or something like that, we not having no conversations. So I come in the house and he like, I knew you was ashamed that I was your baby daddy. I'm like, what? And I knew you was cheating on me. I knew you been cheating this whole time. I'm like, first of all, didn't you say that when you came with the faint smell of the vag that we weren't together? That's number one. Number two, you the one cheating. That's why you think I'm cheating. Number three, what are you talking about? Because like we are not even there no more. You done went on a whole vacation with your girlfriend. Like, please stop it. And he's like, I knew you was embarrassed of me. Like you ran into so and so and you didn't even tell them that we got kids together. Who randomly runs into somebody from school that you ain't seen in a long time? It's like, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. Guess what? I got 2 kids by so-and-so, so-and-so. What? Although, yeah, I am embarrassed of you. But that's not why I didn't say that to them. So, he mad because I'm coming home happy. My friend is making me happy. He being so kind to me. He doing generous things. He's buying me gifts. And not like gifts, like flowers and like just being thoughtful. Oh, I know you like this kind of candy and I got this. Stuff like that. So I'm happy and I'm just trying to get back to me. So my friend calls me. She's like, hey, I got tickets to a soccer game. You want to go? Bet. Let's go. I call my mom. Although he's in the house, y'all, I call my mom to get my kids, because if he knows that I'm going anywhere other than work, he like, I'm leaving them, and he'll wait until it's time for me to walk out the door, and then he'll just leave, and I can't go anywhere. So I call my mom. She's like, I got him. So we go to the soccer game, and like you can go up. There are 2 ways to watch. You can go up where all the food and drinks are and watch from up there, or you can get all your food and drinks and stuff and then go sit down low and come back and forth. So when we went in, we first went upstairs got a couple drinks, ate some food, brought some food down with us, and we were still early. So we get down and we sit in our seats, which is pretty close to the field. Well, I see there's the players come out like stretching or something, and a bunch of people like run over to this one player to take a picture. Now I'm looking down there to see who it is. Now I don't know nothing about soccer, but I'm still looking down there because everybody else looking down there, and they happy taking pictures. And the dude goes, and I'm like, okay, well, give me my camera. I'm gonna take a picture with him just in case he's somebody I should have been taking a picture with. So I come in and I'm trying to get in the group picture to take the selfie. He's like, no, wait. So he takes the picture with the group of people, signs a soccer ball or whatever, and then I come over and we take another picture together. And he's like, you wanted to take a picture with me? I was like, well, not really. You called me down here because, no offense, but I don't know a whole lot about soccer. And he's like, well, I wanted to take a picture with you. I was like, okay. He's like, I think you're absolutely beautiful. I said, well, thank you. If I can find a picture, I'll post that picture. I was like, okay, so I'm feeling a little Stella-y. I'm like, girl, you cute.
Getting out there.
So we got back up there, and me and the girls are talking about it. So then one of my friends is like, let's see who's around. And I'm like, what you mean? She's like, I'm about to get on this website and see who's here. So see, if I can match with somebody. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I ain't know nothing about online dating at that time. The only thing I know was Match, and Match I thought were for older people. So she's showing me everything, and I'm like, oh, okay. So she makes me a profile. She picked some pictures from some stuff, some night outs we done went to, or just random pictures she found in my camera roll, or some stuff she had that she sent back to my phone. So she set my little thing up, and like I'm swiping and matching and swiping and matching. Y'all know what it is. I don't want to mention the name because I don't know what happened. Although I just mentioned the other one, but whatever. I got ADHD. Don't hold it against me. So with that being said, like if I'm not connecting with you, I'm going to forget about you. And it's not because I'm trying to forget about you. It's just that I be having a whole lot of stuff going on. So I start talking to this one guy, and I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, let's go out. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So this time I'm like, I'm trying to prepare for the date, because like this is a date. Like this is my real first date, where it's not like we hanging out as friends. Like this is a date. So y'all, I told y'all I ain't got a whole bunch of clothes at that time, but I got a couple cute pieces, whatever. So I put my little basic cutie on, and I was like, I'm gonna do something different to my hair. So I had saw this tutorial about Bantu knot curls. So I decided I'm gonna try that. So the night before, I Bantu knot all my hair all over, right? It's got to set and dry, so I leave it in. I leave it in all day until it's time to go. And I'm like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to get dressed, put my makeup on, and I'm going to take it down right before we leave out. So I'm getting dressed. My baby daddy's there. My mom's coming up to get the kids. He back in his room. He had to come through the kitchen, down the hallway, through the family room, down the other hallway to even get to me. So I'm in my bathroom doing my hair, and I take the first one down, and it's looking, not too bad, too curly like the tutorial, but that's okay because that's just one. So I take the other one down. It's not looking good, y'all. I got about 12 minutes to get out of here. I just got to take them all down. So I start taking them all down, and I'm shaking, and I'm fluffing. And I'm shaking and throwing my hair to this side, throwing it to this side, because I'm like, they gotta fall. It is curl pieces going backwards, upwards, upside, like they just doing whatever they want to do. I am like, are you serious right now? So my first thought was, I gotta get out this bathroom before my baby daddy see me and get out the house. Because I already knew. I put a little extra eyeliner on, y'all. Top eyeliner, bottom eyeliner. I think I might even put some blush on, because I'm trying to take away from, who I look like? What's those things that be in the middle of the cornfield? Scarecrow. My hair looked just like a scarecrow. Only thing I was missing was the hat to put on top of it. I couldn't even believe it. So I'm trying to skedaddle out the bathroom real quick. And I hear him coming through the kitchen down the hallway. I'm like, here we go. So I'm trying to walk real fast to the door. He's like, hey, what's going on with your head? I'm so pissed off because I already know that it looks a mess. So I get outside and there's nothing to do. I'm like, it's a little dark outside, so, maybe it's not so bad. I get in the car, I'm looking up at my hair like, whatever. Just go. We get there, and the guy is so nice, and he's all, but he keep doing one of these. He keep looking up like this, and every time he look up, I'll do a little shake or a little, try to, I don't know what I was trying to do. He was so distracted. He was just sitting at the table like this. I would ask him something, and he'd be in the middle of answering it and look up at my head and completely forget what he was saying. And so I ordered my food, and he ordered his food. And then, like, literally somebody he knew came in or something, and he looked at them, and he did kind of one of these. And when he did that, I turned around trying to look to see who it was, because I know it's somebody that you saw. And so the person walked past, and they like, hey. And I just smiled, and he was like, you know what, you want to go for a walk? And I was like, go for a walk? We just ordered food. He was like, we could take it with us. Let's just go for a walk. So I was like, okay. So he paid for the food. They had already packed it up because he got the waiter and was like, hey, we're going to take it to go. So y'all, I'm feeling extra embarrassed right now because I already know. But I'm like, maybe he just wanted to come outside so he don't be focused on my hair. So I noticed when we coming outside, he is going in the direction of where I said my car was. And he's going swiftly. Y'all, we get up to that car, and he is scratching the handle of my door, like trying to open it up like it's his car. He is pushing the button. I'll tell y'all about this later. Pushing the button on his keys as if it's going to unlock my car. So finally I was like, I'll unlock it, because in my mind, well, maybe we want to put my food away. So I'm unlocking the door. He is reaching the handle to open up the door, and literally is like, well, it was so nice. Y'all, so this man walked me back to the car. Now, initially, I'm thinking like, okay, he just wants to put the bags in the car, and then we're going to go for the walk. No, as soon as we got to that car, Buddy was like, well, it was nice meeting you, and we had a good time. Did we? We didn't have no time, but okay, I understand. I get it. So I get back to the house, and my mom was like, well, how did it go? I was like, I'm back already. You know how it went. She was like, I saw your hair. I was like, don't even. We not even going to talk about it. She's like, okay, well, better luck next time. So at this point, I'm batting 0. I'm not feeling too confident about the dating world. Okay, I'm out here like this is not for the faint at heart. Okay, like, you got to put some work in. So I'm like, okay, Tara, just jump right back into it. So I jump back on the website, and I'm like, well, let me finish the conversations I was having, because like, once I start talking to somebody, I kind of forget about everybody else because I have object permanence. So I'm like, let me just go back to these conversations. So I'm like, hey, how you doing? Long time no see. No, all that little small talk, whatever. So the one guy, he's responding pretty quickly. And he was like, yeah, I thought you forgot about me. I wanted to say I did. But I was like, ha, 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 ha. Blase, wooze, skip. He's like, hey, since you're not on the app all the time, let's exchange numbers. Okay, cool. So we exchange numbers, and we're texting back and forth, and everything is good. Then we're talking, great conversation. I'm like, okay, everything is feeling real, relaxed. But I'm trying to remind myself, still continue to talk to the people on the app as well. So he's like, can I take you out finally? I'm like, sure. And he was like, this is great. I've been trying to get your attention for so long to ask you this. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I initially saw you in person at work. And I was like, how you know where I work at? You work with me? And he's like, no, I travel. And I saw you. And you, honey, you just look straight through me. And I was like, well, his pictures are attractive, so I'm not sure why I would look straight through him. Then I thought to myself, he must be short. He might be little. So I kept that in the back of my head. But I was like, well, maybe I was just working, whatever. And he's like, yeah, probably so. So then initially, I was just trying to not ask the question, but then I was like, hey, how tall are you? And turns out we're the same height. So that's probably why I really wasn't paying him no attention. But he was like, well, can I take you out? Sure. And he's like, I want to pick you up. And at first I was like, oh, nobody know where I live at. I was like, well, this is a family compound, so we good over here. He can come pick me up. And it'll be nice to be treated like a lady and be taken out on a date and picked up in the whole 9. So we talked for like maybe 2 weeks before the actual date. Yeah, because he was traveling. He was out of town. So when he got back in town, he's like, I'm gonna come pick you up and we're gonna take you to a nice restaurant. Now during this time we're having conversations, he's randomly asking me, all the first get to know you questions, like what's your favorite color, favorite movie, what do you like to eat, what do you like to do, what do you blah blah blah. And you're just casually answering the questions, and also asking him the same questions. So when he comes to pick me up, I'm like, ooh, his car is nice. I'm not into cars, but I do know that this is a very expensive car and a very customized, cool, expensive car. So I'm like, okay, I'm already feeling a little nice. Now, by this time, this is around the time where my baby daddy I had just told him he had to get out and we couldn't co-parent in the same house no more. You got to go. And he was still being a little arrogant, like, when I'm going to get my keys back, I'll be back. If you don't know that full story, you can just go back and watch it. But so that's around that time. And I'm like, I'm not thinking about him. I'm trying to get back out here. So when he comes to pick me up, what happens? He comes to pick me up. He's like, we're going to a restaurant. So we go downtown and we go to a hotel first. And I was like, okay. But the restaurant was inside the hotel. So we get upstairs and we get in there. There's no host. There's chairs on top of the table. I'm like, is this man getting ready to try to take me down and cut me up into little pieces in the meat room? Because this does not look normal. So I'm a little nervous now, to be honest with you. But I had already given his information out to everybody. I mean, license plate number, ID, whole nine. Everybody got that information. So I'm like, sir, do not cut me up in here. Okay, please. Thank you. So we get in there and we go further back into the restaurant, and finally there's a section that has lighting, but every other section is dark and the chairs are on top of the table. Well, when we get all the way over there, the first thing I see is on the wall, there's a projector on the wall. And I was looking like, and I'm like, is that my favorite movie playing? It is. So then I look around, there's one little table sitting there with a little candle and a little table setting for two. And then behind us, there is blankets and covers and looks like a furry ottoman or something. And then in front of us is the projector screen that's playing my favorite movie. The two little people come out with the drinks that are the colors that I said that I like. And then there's a menu with my name on it with the two things that I said were my favorite that I got to pick from. I'm like, now if you was trying to get some country, that's all you had to say. No, I'm just joking. But no, I was like super impressed, y'all. Like, I was looking like, baby, I ain't never had nobody do that for me. So we sit down.
Shit.
We get the drinks. I have the drink. It's so good. And we're watching a movie. We're talking. Everything is going great. Food came out. The food was good. I mean, I'm sure I can't really tell you how it tastes because I'm enjoying the date so much that the food taste didn't even matter. So it was a good time. And we talking about my movie. Like, everything is so great. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm feeling a little too drunk or like too buzzed, like lightheaded. Like, I'm like, I've only had 1.5 drinks. I shouldn't be feeling like I'm about to be gone. Then it dawned on me. I was like, oh my gosh, is there vodka in these drinks? And he's like, yeah, why? I was like, I can't drink vodka because it makes me very drunk and then I'll get very sick. He was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, you don't have to be sorry because how would you know that? And on top of it, I was so excited about like how beautiful everything was that I forgot to say something. I said, but I think we should probably be wrapping it up. And we had been there for it had almost been 2 hours because the movie was either just about to be over or it was already over. But I'm not sure because at this time I'm getting a little fuzzy. And then I'm also thinking like, I hope he ain't putting nothing in these drinks besides the vodka. But I do know vodka does that to me. So I'm like, we should be wrapping this up. So he's, going to talk to whoever, the other two people who brought us our food and our drinks and stuff. And then, y'all, my next memory was of me sitting on my stairs at my house and looking over and seeing him pushed up against the glass, pointing up. And first, I'm like, what the heck? So I'm climbing up the stairs. Literally, I'm so drunk, y'all. I can't even, like, when I tell you, I just got to make it up the stairs. So then my next memory is me waking up in the morning. And I'm like, first I'm checking to see if I got on underwear. Okay, I'm like, okay, I got my underwear on. I still got everything I had on last night.
Damn.
Wait, is he here? So I'm looking around, like trying to make sure he's not in the house. And then I'm like, where my kids at? My mom didn't bring my kids home. And then I realized I was on the stairs last night. Like, ooh, I was so drunk I was climbing up the stairs. My mom probably didn't bring my kids up because she probably saw me on the camera crawling up the stairs. Oh my God. So I'm like, is this man here? Did he stay the night? Like, what is happening? So y'all, I pick up the phone. I call him. I was like, hey. He's like, hey, how you feeling? I was like, a little sick, but I'm okay. So, funny story is, last thing I remember is being in a restaurant. Then the next memory was me being on the stairs. I must have been very drunk, and I'm so sorry. He's like, yeah, you told me that you were going to be really tipsy, and you're going to be drunk. But in the car, I didn't realize that you were drunk until you got out of the car and started walking to your building. And that's how I knew that you were really, really drunk. I said, well, did I use my keys? He's like, no, you buzzed and somebody buzzed you in. I'm like, OMG, who watched me on these camera? I said, did you come in with me? He was like, no, I didn't come in with you. I just watched through the glass to make sure that you got up, you kept going because you sat down on the stairs. And I was like, oh my gosh, so how, I'm like, I'm so sorry. He's like, you don't have to apologize. I had a wonderful time with you. He's like, even when you were super drunk, you couldn't really tell. So we left off where he's telling me that we had such a great time that night, even though my memory is spotty. Y'all, I cannot believe I have over 100,000 views on TikTok on some of my videos. Y'all are just letting me share my story, and y'all are being so kind, and I just really appreciate it because it feels good to just talk sometimes.
Girl,
So
after we
y'all,
got through your
so
raggedy baby
I'm
daddy,
really
I'm
trying to
kind of
figure
glad
out
you got a
how
good
good of a
date.
time we had. Who saw me crawling up the stairs while I was drunk? How did a drink and a half make me that tipsy? And then I realized I hadn't really drank anything in forever since I had my babies, since before I had, when I was pregnant with them. So I'm just like, my gosh. He's like, yeah, we had so much fun. You have great personality. Your conversation is always moving. Like, look at your phone. And I said, look at my phone. He was like, yeah, we made a stop before I brought you home. That's why I thought that you weren't that drunk until you got out the car. I look at the phone. Apparently, we had driven through some kind of festival and everybody was like excited about his car. And I had taken a video of me in the car while he's talking to the people. Him and I had taken pictures. Like, it was so, I'll post a clip it of one of the videos up here because if as long as it ain't gonna show too much. But I'm like, we did what? He's like, yes, that's why I didn't realize that you were that tipsy until you were walking up those stairs. And then I was concerned and I was like, oh my gosh, our family gonna see me bringing her back like this. They're gonna be looking at me sideways. So I was like, okay. So he's like, you know what? That was us meeting for the first time. I want to take you on a real date. And I was like, that looked like a real date to me because ain't nobody never did nothing like that for me. He's like, no, I want to take you on a real date. And I was like, okay. He's like, because I had so much fun with you. I was like, so what are you thinking about? Because now I'm just having short conversation with them until till it's time for me to go get the kids. He tells me he wants to take me to a date in Hawaii. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, ha ha ha, for real.
Mm.
I said, huh? He said, you told me last night that your mom watches your kids. Do you think she'll watch them for an extended weekend? I said, when? He said, I'm thinking next weekend. And I was like, are you serious? He's like, yes, all you have to do is tell me yes. And I got everything else. Yes, we can go. He's like, well, you need to ask your mom first. I was like, yes, we can go. So I get off the phone with him. I call my mother. My mother was like, yeah, I seen you climbing up them stairs. I couldn't believe. First time you out in public. Look at you acting a fool climbing up the stairs. So we laughing about it. And she's like, so what happened, blah, what was they, Skippy? And I'm showing her the pictures. I'm like, Ma, I really don't remember none of this. I said, because I hadn't had any drinks in forever. And then I can't really drink vodka. And she's like, yeah, I know. So we just talking, and she's like, so are y'all gonna go out again? I was like, yeah, as a matter of fact, he asked me out again. She's like, oh, great, for when? I was like, next weekend. She's like, oh, okay, I don't mind watching the kids. I'm like, you don't? Do you mind watching them for an extended weekend? And she was like, wait, what do you mean? I said, well, he said he wants to take me on a new date. I mean, another date, and he wants to take me to Hawaii. She was like, is it a restaurant named Hawaii? I was like, no, ma, like Hawaii, Hawaii. She's like, I
Mm-mm.
watch the kids, but I mean, you don't really know him like that. I said, I
For the
know,
mama,
but
red
here's the
flags for the
thing.
mama. She's stupid.
Like, worst case scenario, um, I can fly myself back from wherever we are or wherever we go. Worst case scenario. I said, on top of it, we got friends and like a family member in Hawaii. So if something goes really bad, I can connect to them and, skedaddle out of there depending upon what island we go to. And she was like, okay, well, shoot, you only young once. Go ahead. I said, well, let's do it. So I called him back. I was like, my mom said, yeah. So he's like, okay, just take care of everything. I just need to know your first and last name, your full first name and your full last name. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. We didn't discuss that. So I gave him my first and last name. He booked us a flight and he sent the confirmation literally in less than an hour. I'm sitting here looking at my mother like, oh my God. And she's looking at me like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So I pack up my stuff. I call my best friend. I was like, you will never believe this. And she's like, what? What? She's like, I told her, I said, he is taking me on a first date, a real first date. She was like, I thought that was a real first date. I said, girl, me too. And she was like, well, where y'all going? I tell her, she was like, ain't no way. I said, I know. Ain't no way, but I'm going. So I was like, I need you to take me to the airport because my mom's gonna be watching the kids. She's like, cool. I'm like, the flight leaves at like, I think it was like 7 in the morning or something. It was early. No, like it was like 9 in the morning, but we had to get there like 7 or something.
I'm worried about this one.
So y'all, I am so nervous. First of all, let's just be clear. I haven't been nowhere since somewhere been nowhere. Okay? And somewhere ain't never been nowhere. Number two, I'm like, what am I going to wear? What am I going to bring? So I'm like, I got 3 days to get this together. So y'all, I ran to Target. I go to Target and I start trying on swimsuits because the only swimsuit I have right now that's gonna slightly fit and is still kind of too big because it was a maternity swimsuit is my maternity swimsuit. And I'm like, ain't no way. So I run to Target and like they got a bunch of because this was around I think um I don't remember it, but I think it was like around spring breakish. I'm not sure. I got the pictures and stuff. I'm gonna upload some of them on this video for you. So I was like, what am I gonna get? I'm like getting grabbing a whole bunch of swimsuits, trying them on, and like I'm still nursing, so we got Dolly Parton happening down here, and plus I'm real skinny. Well, not real skinny, but like I'm just now getting a little bit of meat back, but my boobs are still like disproportionate for my body. So I'm not trying to be out here looking extra slutty, but I can't really do anything about these boobs. I'm trying on some suits, little cover ups, and I think I got it. It's only for 4 days. So I got me four swimsuits, I got me four cover ups, I got me some flip flops. Um, I had to grab, I feel like I either borrowed a suitcase or bought a suitcase, and then all the toiletries and everything. I literally just bought everything. My mom gave me her card, and I just bought everything for 4 days. So I get home, I pack up the bag. I'm super duper nervous, y'all. When I tell you nervous, I am super duper nervous because I'm like, first of all, am I really about to do this? I don't even know this man. That's number one. Number two, did somebody say that they're taking me on a date to Hawaii? Is this real? It definitely is real because I got my ticket and my confirmation with my name on it. Okay. So I'm like, yee. Yeah, so my friend comes to pick me up to take me to the airport. It's early in the morning. I'm for some odd reason I'm rushing, and I think I'm rushing because I'm nervous. And I'm trying to remember, do I have everything? I don't have no makeup or nothing on my hair. I had just shampooed my hair the night before and let it air dry. So I was like, because that way I can add some, some loose curls in it and it looks bouncy. So I'm just like super duper, y'all. When I tell y'all, so nervous. She picks me up and I'm in the car. Now I wear all black because I already know that I'm gonna be sweating. Okay, that's just what's gonna happen. I'm gonna sweat. And I wear all black so you can't see the sweat. But we are in the car. I got on this little zip up black dress. It's really cute, really comfortable, really airy. I got my suitcase looks nice. I'm gonna finish my hair in the bathroom and my makeup in the bathroom. But I just didn't want to be rushing, sweating and my makeup sweat and my hair mess up. So I was just in the car. So I'm in the car. It's cold. Yeah, it was around springtime because it was still cold outside, but it was around the time it was about to be warm outside. Because I remember getting in the car and she cut the heat off because she knew I was hot. She know anytime I get nervous, I'm sweaty and I'm hot. So she cut the heat off, but my body is emitting so much heat that it fogged up all of the windows in the car. And I look around, I'm like, girl, I done fogged up your windows. You got to turn the defroster on or turn the air on or something or the heat back on. She's like, I didn't want to turn the heat on because you sweating so bad. I was like, I'm so nervous. So y'all, I walk into the airport and I'm trying to hurry up and get to the bathroom before he sees me and he's calling me. He's like, I'm here. Are you coming? I'm like, yes, I'm coming. And so I'm walking down the hallway to meet him at the gate. And I see for him from a y'all. So I'm super nervous, right? And I see him down the concourse. He's by the gate. So we're walking. He waves at me and I wave back. So I hang up the phone. So we're walking. He meets me halfway. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that you're here. I can't believe you're coming. This is going to be exciting. I'm so excited. Are you excited? And I was like, yeah, I'm excited, but I'm kind of nervous too. He's like, well, you should be more excited than nervous because you're in good hands. And I'm like, we'll see. So we go over to the gate. We're sitting down having good conversation. There's no weird spots. Like, it's just flowing like just naturally. So I'm super excited. We get on the airplane. It's a 10-hour ride, as you guys know. We are having great conversations. We're watching movies. We're talking. We're laughing and joking. Like, it was like so comfortable and easy. Like, I had been knowing this man forever, okay? So we land in Maui. We get there, and once we get there, they're like, Mr. So-and-so, welcome to blah, blah, who's it, Skippy? And I'm like, okay. They're like, we're going to have the car take you over to pick up your rental. So the rental place is like, you can literally see it. It's probably a 5-minute walk, which means it's a minute drive. So I'm like, well, we need a car to get there. And he's like, it's okay. So the man gets our bags, put all our stuff in there, literally drives us a minute to the car place, takes all our stuff out. They're like, Mr. So-and-so, thank you so much for being a so-and-so member, blah, 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 who's this, Skippy? Your vehicle is here. Please come take a look at it to make sure that, it meets your standards. And he's like, well, I did request for a sunroof. They're like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry. Give us a moment. We'll take care of it. They come back. They're like, we're just going to have to just run it through the washer really quickly to make sure everything is okay on it. So in the meantime, you guys can have a drink and just, relax. So I'm sitting here like, what is happening? I'm so excited. So I drank my it was like sparkling wine or something. So I drink the little sparkling wine. They bring the car back around and he's like, you want to take a look at it to make sure everything's okay? So he's like, sure. So he goes out, he comes back and they have already put the bags in there, come back and gets me. I finish my little sparkling wine, I put it down, we get in the car. Y'all, we are driving through these beautiful mountains. I mean, all you see is mountain and ocean and just sky and just beautifulness, okay? And I'm just looking like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this is actually happening. And I said, so where are we staying? And he's like, it's a surprise. So I'm like, okay. So we get there and I'm like, are we for real right now? This is an exclusive resort, y'all. It is none of us. It's only us. And I'm like, it's so beautiful. Like, literally, they come, we pull up, they come to the door, open up the door. They immediately put a lei on us. They immediately give us a drink. They get his car. He talks to them about whatever. They take his car to the side and give him a little pass or something. And we walk in. I'm sitting down and just looking at the views and looking at everything.
Looks good.
While he's checking us in. And they're like, here's the room, blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay, we want to check to make sure that it's, the room is up to your standards, Mr. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay. So they put all of our suitcases on the little, little pusher thing. Yeah, so we get to the room. We open up the room. Y'all, please help me understand why literally you have an infinity pool that's connected to the room. And like you can see over the resort, like your pool is over other pools. So it's like your pool spills into another pool, which spills into another pool that's down there in front of everybody. And I'm just looking like, you gotta be kidding me. And then they're like, well, this is your butler. He's here until this time. When he leaves at this time, if you need him at any time, you make this phone call, request what you need, we'll get it to you. If you're not here, the butler won't be here. But if you're on your way back and you need something in the room or you want him to be there when you come back, this is what you do, blase. Just, giving us the whole rundown. Then they give us the map and they're like, yeah, we can escort you guys around the facility or you can explore at your leisure. It's totally up to you. You just let us know. And I'm sitting over here like, okay. And they're like, if there's nothing else, please enjoy your stay and don't hesitate to ask for anything that you may need. It's a pleasure having you, Mr. Blah, 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 Woozy Skippy, and leaves out. And I was like, well, okay. So immediately, I'm like, I'm hungry and I want to go to the water. So I put a swimsuit on. We go downstairs. We have food and it's right off the pool. And then we're just casually walking around looking at everything. And then, by that time we're a little bit tired. So we go sit at the beach. It's getting late. Then we come back to the room and go to sleep. Everything was magnificent. Oh, in the room, he asked, is this couch a pull-out couch? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, okay. They're like, we can bring some linen up for you when you come back to the room. And they were like, okay. He was like, okay, cool. He's like, well, I wanted to get the double beds, but if we got the double beds, we wouldn't have had the infinity pool connected to the room. So I made sure that they had a pull-out bed in here because I don't want to make you uncomfortable. Y'all, he slept on the pull-out couch that night. I was like, and you not like trying to be like, I brought you here so none of that. Just easy fun. So y'all, the next morning I wake up and I'm in excruciating pain. I'm over here like, what is happening? And then I realized, oh, I have not pumped since before I left. My boobs are about to explode. They are hard as a rock and I'm looking like Dolly Parton, okay? So I jump up, well, not jump up, but I get up, and I go into the shower and I'm running hot water because I want warm water on so that when I get ready to pump, it's just an easy flow. So I'm in the shower, letting the warm water flow over me. After I finish, I come out into the bathroom and I'm pulling out my toiletry kits and my pump is not in there. I am in excruciating pain right now. So he gets up because it's really early and we're going to go down to breakfast. So he's got dressed. I'm dressed already. And we go down. He's like, are you ready to have breakfast? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, I heard that they have, a really, really great buffet. So we go downstairs and he's like, are you okay? Like, you seem a little bit, a little off today. Did I do something? I'm like, no, I'm just in pain. And he's like, in pain? What's wrong? And I was like, I'll tell you, after breakfast, because it was all in the open or whatever. And I don't know. I didn't want to say it right there. So we finished eating. And mind you, all I have on is a bathing suit and a see-through cover-up. He has on swimming trunks. Oh, and then our little band that you have to put on to get in and out around the facility. So he has on swim trunks and a shirt. And that's it. And our keys that are on our wrist. So after we finish, he's like, okay, come tell me what's going on. So I walk over. I was like, listen, my son is still nursing and I have not pumped since before I got on the flight yesterday. He's like, okay, so do I have to pump you or something? I was like, no, you don't have to pump me. but we do need to find a pump. I need to get to a store. And he's like, a store that sells breast pumps? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I don't know what kind of store. I said, well, we passed the Target. He's like, oh yeah, that's right, we did pass the Target. So he runs, tells him he needs the car. I'm sitting down waiting in the beautiful foyer area. I'm gonna show you guys those pictures. And we get to Target and we walk in there and we look like complete tourists because we're in swimsuits. And he's like, excuse me, sir, I need to find a breast pump. And the man was looking at him like, huh? He's like, I need a breast pump. And he points to her and he's like, oh, okay, it'll probably be in the baby section. And so he's walking over, leading us over towards where the baby section is. And I'm looking around on this side, and the guy and my guy are looking around on the other side. And he says, the employee says, have your wife come over here. Here are all the selections of breast pumps. And he goes, my wife? Yes, Mrs. So-and-so. And he calls me by his last name, says, come over, we found the pumps. So we're laughing about it. We get the pumps, and then we drive to like this secluded beach that he was telling me about. He's like, I found this a secluded beach, and right off of it is the mountains where they do the helicopter rides. And it has the waterfalls by it. And so I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, we'll figure out, how to set the pump up and everything. So we get back in the car.
I know exactly what to do.
And he's looking to try to figure out how to set that pump up. If you're just joining us, my baby daddy is a comedian and the jokes are on me. So we're in Hawaii. We're in the car in the parking lot of the Target. He's reading all the directions because this is supposed to be a portable pump. He plugs it up into the car charging port, like the cigarette lighter hole, I think that's what it is. And it's charging, and so we're driving over to the beach. He stops off and he gets us some drinks from one of the local stores. We get over to the beach, and it's literally nobody there. Maybe like one person and a kid. And so he's like, so I'm gonna leave you in the car to do your thing, and I'm gonna set up my equipment. And I was like, set up your equipment? He's like, yeah, I have a surprise for you. And I was like, okay.
He's full of surprises.
Y'all, I'm in the parking lot of this beach with 2 suction cups on me. That's all you hear. And I'm looking around because I got my girls pulled out, and I'm just looking around in the car that we rented. The tinted windows weren't as tinted in the front as they were in the back. So I'm just, keeping an eye, and I can see him. He's in a nice distance away where he can see me, but he can't see like all the details. And I can see like he's setting up a bunch of equipment, and I'm like, what is he doing? But I'm too busy being relieved from getting this all out of me, right? So it's pumping into the containers, and I was like, I gotta, when I finish, I'm like, I gotta go dump it. And I get out the car and I'm holding the 2 containers. She said, OMG, that came out of you? I was like, yeah. He's like, I wish we knew each other better. I was like, why? He's like, because I really want to taste that. I was like, what? So weird. Anyway, so after he sets up his equipment, he's like, he's showing me this, the cameras and all of the different stuff that he has. And I'm like, you had all that in that little backpack? He's like, yeah. Well, I'm getting ready to do something. And I said, okay. So he's like, I just want you to go out into the water and just do whatever you do. Like, however you want to move, whatever you want to do, just enjoy the water. And I need about 4 minutes of that. And I was like, 4 minutes? Okay, cool. He's like, no, he said 4 to 10 minutes of it. And I was like, okay, cool. So I go out into the beach, and first of all, the beach is my happy place. That's why it's my daughter's happy place. And I am just ecstatic because I can smell, it smells good. It smells clean and fresh and salt watery and like fruity almost. It's completely dry, hot heat, but there's wind coming. You can hear the splashing of the waves, and it's like it's serene. It's like whistling kind of. Oh my gosh, I was in heaven. And then you look up and there are mountains in the background and you can see the waterfalls coming, and it is just amazing. And I am in my happy place and I'm just enjoying myself, and I have forgot for a moment that he was filming. I'm just so happy and I cannot believe that this is happening. Y'all, he made a whole entire video. I'm going to post it here so that you can see it. And that video, he gave, he did videos throughout the whole entire trip. He added that video that I'm about to show you guys along with other videos from the hotel. Y'all, he put it together in an advertisement. He sold it to the hotel, and I got residuals or dividends for like maybe 5 years off of that, hands down. Like every time they use that video, I would get a couple $100 in the mail. But I'm gonna show you the first video. You know, you my girl. And I'm like, hold on, pump your brakes now. Now, we were together nonstop. I'm going to show you all the pictures.
It'll take me to Hawaii. I can't
that,
be your man.
Like, after that trip, I think we were together maybe probably about 80% of the time. And I'll show you the pictures. And then that's when he starts saying, you know, you're my girlfriend. And I was like,
but then she went back to her baby daddy.
You know, because this is happening kind of fast, and it's reminding me of love bombing, and I'm not comfortable with it. He was like, okay. I said, well, I want to get to know you a little bit better before we start just jumping into those things. And I was like to myself, I'm like, listen, I'm going to keep dating. So I was still, you know, trying to date other people. Y'all, I was dating a basketball player. I'll pull some of those pictures in there. We walked into this restaurant one time to go get sushi. This is with the basketball player. We walk into the restaurant, and you know, I'm like, he's not like an all-star player where everybody knows who he is, but you know, a couple people know who he is, but I don't know a whole lot about sports, y'all. So we walk into the sushi restaurant, and literally he has to duck down to get in because he's like, what, 6, I think he's like 6'10".
She didn't keep
I think so, I don't know. So he has to duck down to get into the restaurant. As soon as we walk in, now we having regular conversation, just talking. You know, there's a couple people staring because he's really, really tall, but not, you know, nothing serious. So we get into the restaurant, and literally, everything stops. Everybody turns to look to see who he is. And like, I get up to go to the bathroom, and when I go to the bathroom, half of the restaurant is over there asking him who he is. And I come out of the bathroom, and I'm walking over to the table, and he's just looking up, smiling, and I'm looking at him like, what's going on? So we come over to I come back over to the table, and they're like, we're just trying to figure out who he is and blah blah blah. I say, you know, we're just here to have dinner, that's all. You know, I appreciate that. And they were real kind about it, and they went and sat down, and I'm like, you know, he not really that big of a deal, but that was to me. Other people was like, listen, honey, we want to know who he is. So I was dating him for a while too. I'll post those pictures. But back and forth between the guy that I liked. Now, the reason why I didn't just go all in for it is because, you know, my baby daddy, I did that, and it turned out pretty terribly. And I was seeing some red flags, and I'm like, I see these red flags, baby. And this time, we are not ignoring those red flags. We're not going to call you out on them, but I'm not going to ignore them. So in between that time, I'm dating him, but not exclusively, and I'm dating other people. But honey, nobody was getting a cookie. But I was dating, baby. When I tell you I was on a dating rampage, I had a starting lineup, okay? If you didn't have something to do, then we're going out. If you busy, that's okay, no problem. We'll go out next time. I'm going out with this person. So hands down, I was out there enjoying myself. I was not trying
And her
to
baby
just
daddy
jump
got her
right back
pregnant
into it. I know
again.
y'all wanted to hear that fairy tale ending, but baby, we weren't doing that. We had to take our time, and we need to make sure that what people were saying is what they were saying. And boy, am I glad that I did that, because the next few months of excitement, craziness, like ludicrous things was happening, to the point where when I tell these stories, my friends are like, what? Literally, we were on a high-speed chase in the parking lot of like this convention center that had like a bunch of hotels, and they all shared one parking lot. We were in a high-speed chase with another car because it kept coming up in front of us and like literally stopping. I have to tell that whole story. I'm going to end this video now because I have to tell that story in order for y'all to understand. He's doing the most wonderful things for me. Anything I ask for, he's getting it for me. He's taking me out on beautiful dates. He's funny. Like, it's good, but I can feel that it's not right. Like, I literally can feel that it's not like everything that it appears to be. So the first couple months, we were dating, and it was fun. Like, we were going everywhere, doing everything. And I was like, this would be ideal, but something just it doesn't feel right. And if something doesn't feel right after that first situation with my baby daddy, I'm not going with it. So I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to be in a relationship with you. We can hang out, we can have a good time, we can date, but I cannot be with you. It's just, I've got to do some healing. So he's like, cool. Like I said, when we first started talking, I started telling him all the things that I love, and fireworks is one of those things. So this night, he's like, hey, I want you to get dressed. I'm going to pick you up. I got a surprise for you. So I was like, okay. So I get the kids to my mom, get dressed, literally run out the door because I'm excited because I know it's around the 4th of July, and I know fireworks are going to be involved. So he drives me all the way out to some far west suburbs, and it was absolutely beautiful. The fireworks show was great. I don't know if I have any footage of it. If I do, I'll post it up here. And it was wonderful. We had such a great time afterwards. We went to this brewery. I always have to slow down when I say that. And they were closing down, but I like beer.
Ricky Smack.
So he was taking me there so that I could taste a bunch of different beers. But because they were closing, we ended up going to another restaurant. Well, at this restaurant, we ordered drinks. And the guy was like, hey, this is a menu, but this drink right here, you could only, because it's 2 of you, you can only order 2 of them, because it is literally that strong. And I was like, okay. So we both ordered that one because we about to have a night. So we ordered the drink, and he did not lie. When I tell you I couldn't get through a 4th of it, I was over there like, whoa, okay. And my guy, he drank his whole drink, and then he finished mine. And I was like, okay. So we ordered food. We had a good time. So afterwards, after we laughing and giggling, we get up and we both like, we are not going to be able to make it back to the city. Like, that's just not going to happen. And we're not getting ready to put ourselves in a situation like that. So it's like, what are we going to do? So he drives over to, which is like literally right down the way, to like this. It's a bunch of hotels. It's a convention center. And there are a bunch of hotels, maybe like 6 or 7 hotels, but they all share this ginormous parking lot. So he sits on, he parks, like, it's completely bare over where we're parked at except for one car. So he parks next to that one car so that he could try to look for some hotels so that, we can sleep off and then come home in the morning. So while we were in the car searching for a hotel, BMW like comes super fast and parks in front of us with the flashing lights, like with their bright lights on. And we're just like, why do they have their bright lights on us? So my date, he kind of looks around, and then they pull off about a minute later. They literally stayed there for a minute and they pull off. So we're steady looking, and we found a place, and we're getting ready to, in the midst of booking it. And then they drive around the side of us and then stop in the back of us with the bright lights again. So we're like, what is happening here? Well, the 3rd time, they pull around and they stop right at our door. So when they stop at our door, he jumps out the car. And when he jumps out the car, he starts to like forcefully run over, like, what's y'all problem? And once he does that, the BMW takes off. So then he jumps in the car and he lets the doors down. And he's like, that car ain't got nothing on this. I said, what? He literally puts the car into drive and shoo. Like, he is going so fast that I am terrified. He is chasing this BMW around this parking lot, and this BMW is hitting curves and turns, and he's right with it. I'm in a car holding on for dear life. Like, what is happening? What are you doing? And he's like, no, he's not gonna play that game with me. He's not about to play that game with me. And then, so he hits a corner, and my date hits the corner too. And somehow he hits another corner where he's going past us this time. This man puts the car in reverse and reverses in. It's like chasing him backwards. So we are skidding around the whole entire parking lot, making all the noise at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Hotel staffs are coming out of the door. They're calling the police. You hear the police in the background, but that's not stopping him from chasing dude. You can hear the sirens coming. And we black. Sorry, we black. So I'm like, you need to stop. What are you doing? What are you doing? He's like, I got this. Don't worry about it. Like putting it in gear check. I am in a high speed chase and I am terrified. So we hear the police come and they enter the parking lot. And it's not just one police car. It's not 2 police cars. It is 4 police cars that come in and they surround us. Because like when we stopped, the Mercedes stopped too. And then all the police surrounded us with their lights on. I'm literally terrified. I am ready to cry because I'm like, oh my God, we are going to jail because first of all, we black. Second
How
of
long
all,
was this police chase?
we've been drinking. Third of all, we're in a high speed chase. What is happening here? Oh, I forgot that when he jumped out the car, he hit the side of their car, and then you heard like a dog bark or scream or something. So back to when the police are surrounding us. So I'm terrified in the car. He's like, listen, you tell them exactly what you said, what I did to them. You tell them that they did it to us. They're going to have to cancel it out and they're going to leave. I'm like, what are you saying? He's like, listen to me quickly. Listen to me. Tell them what happened, how they were chasing us and stopping in front of us. But tell them they jumped out and hit the side of the car, just like I jumped out and hit the side of the car. And those 2 stories, because we're both saying the same thing, is going to cancel it out. I am terrified. I do not do good under pressure. And I am not a great liar. I'm sitting here like, oh my God. So the police come around and they knocking on the windows. And he lets the windows down. He's like, yes, officer. Cool, calm, and collected. I am terrified. I probably was in there like this, shaking because I was so scared. They let the window down. They're like, what's going on tonight? And he tells them what they had done. And then he says, and then they jumped out and hit the side of the car and jumped back in their car. So I took off chasing them. I'm sitting here like, you jumped out the car and hit the side of the car. And they start running and you start chasing them. So I'm sitting right here. And so he's like, I'm going to have you come out of the car. So he's talking to my guy. So he gets out of the car. And I'm like, well, we going to jail tonight. Because first of all, I only have my state ID on me. I've been drinking too. He been drinking. We going to jail. Ain't no getting out of this. So the police officer comes over to me, and at this time, I'm in tears. I got tears in my eyes. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. And they're like, so just tell me what happened. I was like, we were sitting in the parking lot, and then this car comes and puts his bright lights on us, and then stays, and then leaves. Then he comes back and does it behind us. Then he comes back and does it on the side of us, and we were so terrified. And before I could finish, he says, and they jumped out, and I was like. And as soon as I knew it, we're chasing through the parking lot. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why they're bothering us. I don't know what's happening here, but I'm so scared because I was scared. So they asking for his license. He said he ain't got no license. I'm sitting here like, boy, you better find the license. You black. You better find a license. You better find one quick. So he keeps giving them a license number, but it's always a number off. And they keep putting it in, keep putting it in. Then he says something to them, and they start calling him sir. sir this, sir that, sir that, sir this. And he was like, call your what did he say? Call your, basically your supervisor, call your supervisor out here. And he kept giving them some kind of code. And they were like, okay, okay. And they get in the car. And then I hear one of them say he outranks us. And I said, what? Outranks us? What does that even mean? So they get in the car. They call, the whole time I'm still sitting in the car. He's still on the back of the car. The other cars are still there because the other set of police officers are talking to them. So they call whoever, the supervisor, whatever. The supervisor comes out. When the supervisor comes out, he's like, y'all, so I am terrified in this car. I am still terrified. He is cool, calm, and collected. Literally too cool. I'm trying to figure out, why are you not scared? Because I'm scared. So 3 officers are talking to him on the back of the car. 1 officer is standing at my door, and the other 4 officers are talking to the people that's in the Mercedes-Benz, and we're just waiting. Whole time, I am like frozen in fear, because I don't know if I should be calling my mom. I don't know if I should be calling anybody, but I'm trying to stay positive. And I'm like, okay, should I call my mom? Should I call my friends? What should I do? It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what to do. So I'm just waiting. But I'm listening to the conversation, and it's not sounding hostile. It's sounding a little friendly. So I'm like, okay, my nerves are easing a little bit. So I asked the officer that's standing at my door, I'm like, hey, I need to use the bathroom. Can I run into the hotel? He's like, no, you absolutely cannot. You're going to stay right here until the supervisor comes, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well, he sounds completely different than the other officers. This officer is mad. I mean, he is angry. So my guy comes over to the window, and he's like, hey, are you okay, babe? I'm like, no, I am terrified. He's like, there's no reason to be scared. Trust me, I have it under control. We are okay. You don't have anything to worry about. And I'm like, how do you have it under control? He's like, trust me, I got this. So he reaches in the car, and he gets his like hard case book bag that has all of his equipment in it, and he brings it to the back of the car, and he pops it open, and he's showing the cops how to use it. He's doing test videos, and they're like, oh man, that's so cool. You can't see the stick when you video and blah blah blah. And he's like, here's my Instagram page and my social media. He's like, I hear him saying, I just got back from a mission, and I'm with my girl trying to take her to see the fireworks, and we just wanted to chill out here. And it's totally conversation, regular, like friendly conversation. Then one of the officers are like, hey, you can I follow you? You mind if I follow you on your social media? He's like, absolutely. The other 2 officers like, yeah, we want to follow you too. So now they're following him on social media. Meanwhile, I got Mr. Angry Bones over here at my door, don't want to let me go pee, and I'm so very confused. So the sergeant or whoever he is, he's got on a pressed white regular shirt. Like, he's not dressed like the other officers. He's like, so what's the issue? What's the problem here? So they run it down real quick. And he's like, what did he say? He's like, I'm so-and-so, so-and-so. He tells them whatever that is. He tells them, yeah, I just came back off a mission. I'm also Air Force special missions or something like that, and blah, blah, blah. Like, all the stuff he's telling them, they're like, no, yeah, okay, cool. Is everything okay here? The sergeant walks over to the Mercedes-Benz, tell them y'all are okay. You know, whatever you said. Next time, instead of doing what you're doing, say something. Let your window down and say something. And he tells them to leave. Then he comes back over to us. He's like, let's wrap this up. The other officer's like, he's the one that's by my door. He's clearly been drinking and driving. And the sergeant was like, is he driving right now? I don't see anybody driving. And he's like, we got him from behind the wheel. It was a chase in the parking lot. He was like, parking lot, which means he's parking. I'm sitting here like, what is happening? The police officer is so mad. He's like, let's wrap this up. You guys have a good night. You said you're going to check into this hotel. You guys go check into the hotel. Thank you for your service. What? So he packing up his little equipment, putting it in the back. The other cops are talking to the sergeant, showing him his social media. And the mean cop is mad. So there are only 2 police cars left. The first set of guys get in their police car, and they drive off right after the sergeant. The third guy that was in the back, he gets in the car, but he's waiting for Angry Cop to get in there. Angry Cop doesn't get in there. He comes over to the window. He was like, you guys better go over there, and you better check in, and you better not leave this parking lot, because as soon as you leave this parking lot, I'm arresting you tonight. And my guy's like, Sarge said we cool. I don't understand. Yeah, but if I catch you drinking and driving, I'm arresting you tonight. Both of you going to be in the jail. And I was like, but we're going to check in. And I'm saying this to my guy, not to him.
And he's like, yeah, we're getting ready to go check into the hotel. You cool? We cool. He's like, I better not catch y'all out outside of this parking lot. And my guy was like, basically like, thumbs up, sir. Have a good night. So we drive over, we check into the hotel. I am flabbergasted, confused, and still terrified and still shaking, y'all. I'm like, what just happened? He's like, I just told them my rank, and I told him that I had just come off of a special mission, which I have. And he had told me, he's like, I got to go do something. I can't really tell you about it. And I was like, okay. He's like, I gotta do something. I can't really tell you about it, but when I'm done, we'll hang out. And so that's what actually happened. So I'm like, what did you tell him? He's like, I just told them what it is I did. And I let them know my code, my ranking, my blah, blah, blah. And they were cool with it. And I'm like, what is happening here? So we go back in, we check in the hotel. I'm sitting on the side of the bed. At this time, it's like 3 something. And I'm just sitting here like, I cannot believe this just happened. And now I'm hungry. I want my leftovers. So we walk out to the parking lot to get the leftovers out the car. And the police officers are still parked at the entrance of the parking lot from the hotel that we're staying at. And he looking at us like, yeah, I dare you come out. So we get our food out the car like we went out there to get. And this man says, let's walk around the parking lot. I'm like, for what? He's like, just walk with me. So we walk over there and we're walking around and we get by the cop. He's like, okay, you guys have a good night. You're still here. It's been about an hour or two. Okay, you guys have a good night. We're getting ready to go to sleep. And dude just zooms off so fast. He zooms off. You could tell he's mad because he is doing like 100 miles an hour. And my guy goes, well, if we want to go home now, we can. I mean, I'm pretty sober now. How about you? I was like, yeah, but I'm tired. And you just paid for the hotel. He's like, I don't care about that hotel. It's not nice anyway. You want to just go home? And I was like, but he just left. He's like, yeah, he just left because he's mad. He's not going to come back because he's been waiting out here for something to happen for 2 hours. It didn't happen. And anyway, if something happened, I'll call the sergeant. I was like, you know what? We're going to go in here and eat our food, and then we can go home. So I go in, I eat my food, and we go home. And I pull up. I said, you know, I have 2 children. Once we get back to the house, he's like, yeah. I said, I cannot be in high-speed chases like this. I don't know what just happened. I don't know how you got out of this. He's like, trust me, when you're with me, you don't have nothing to worry about. I'm never going to put you in a situation that I can't get us out of. And I'm not going to try to put us in any kind of situations. And I'm just like, okay. So after that, that's during the summer. After that, like, to be honest with you, you would think that I'm like, let me push off. But then now we're thick as thieves. Like,
I'm surprised she ain't got
all the time. He coming to church Easter Sunday, anything I need. This man came, and I'm gonna post pictures because we was together all the time, vacations, and he's recording every time we are together. He's recording. I have some but there was one time where I came outside. It was cold outside. I came outside. My car wouldn't start up, and it was snow piled up. This man came in his designer clothes, in dress shoes, in snow that was up to our knees because he was at some kind of meeting, and shoveled me completely out. Not only did he shovel me out, he took me to the store to get some jumpers. He came back, jumped the car, ran the car. Then he shoveled some of the street so that my car could drive out. Then he said, are you going to go to work or stay here? I said, well, since you did all this, I might as well just go to work. Then he follows me to work to make sure nothing happened on my way to work. When I got off of work, he was there to follow me back home. This is the kind of stuff that he's doing for me. We are out on boats. We are jet skiing. We are in different cities every other weekend. We are getting stamps on the passport. At this point, we're like best friends almost that flirt a little bit. Like, he's met my kids. My kids love him. He's buying them stuff, taking them stuff. Every time he comes, he knows that they likes his car doors to be up and like the lights going. So he has the car doors up, the lights going, and the music going. So they are super happy when he comes to pick me up. My mom is babysitting him, but my kids will run out to the car and he plays with them for about 15-20 minutes before we leave. He always brings them something to eat, a toy, something to play with, or like some kind of robotics engineering toy. He is like, It seems as if this is perfect, but I'm telling y'all, I can feel that something is going on. So, mind you, I'm dating other people as well, but we are like dating very closely. So there are times where he just dips off, and I don't know where he is for like a week or like 4 days.
So back
All right.
to the T.
I'm gonna stop right here, and then we gonna get back to this story, man. Everyday people, man. Thank y'all for sweating this one out with me. Okay, this was crazy. We done went from this crazy baby daddy, you know what I'm saying? We done seen her wig change 8 different goddamn times. She done got a cold, got healthy, got sick again, started coughing all through the video. Man, she done did it all. I ain't lying. Anyway, I'm trying to see where this new story is gonna go. We definitely gonna catch back up with this, but I just want to tell y'all what my thoughts on this baby daddy. I'm glad she kind of like stopped talking about him because it was just like making her look stupid. And I think what she did was she went back to when the kids were little because for whatever reason she had to go tell these stories about her dating and I'm wondering what happened to these guys. I'm gonna leave y'all on the cliffhanger too, but these, like, she got all these dudes taking care of her, doing her nice, and she's having a good time, but she got this trash ass baby daddy that just, we all like, sis, you still letting your kids go around this dude? I mean, she should have had John Wick whoop her baby daddy one good time. Like, dude, like for real. You know what I'm saying? She let this yeah, she ain't even finish the baby daddy. We don't even know what happened to him. But like I said, it's people speculating different things. I don't know. I don't think this could be D. Ray Davis. I don't think for 1 second. But who I'm thinking her baby daddy is somebody not famous. You know what I'm saying? It can't be somebody famous because literally, oh, these must be the steps she got drunk at and couldn't get up, and that's at the family's compound and stuff like that. Now, she not an ugly looking girl, but I'm glad she took off that filter because, Lord, that filter was killing me. Yeah, that's the family's compound. That's what I thought it. Definitely Chicago. But yeah, the bars on the window is crazy. Yeah, man, it was just like, we're going to catch back up because I think it's only like 1 or 2 more parts. I don't think she finished the story. So I'm going to let her get more of the story out. Like, I try to let her, put some stories out so we can catch up. I like watching these stories too, but I hate watching a long ass story over a length of time. I want to get it out, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, we've been on this for like, what, 4 weeks now? 4 weeks we've been struggling with this baby daddy who's a comedian and the jokes is on her. Shout out to the jokes on me too, because, she went through a lot with that fool. I mean, damn. Like, sis, grow a backbone and punch that fool just one good time. You talking about this nigga, he coming to the baby's birthday, ain't paying for nothing. Showing up clean. Talking about I'm going to get matching suits for my son and stuff like that. He got matching suits with the son. Ain't paid for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Bringing extra kids. You know what I'm saying? Ain't done nothing. And then he got a girlfriend. She in the house. She probably kidnapped or somebody. She should have been going blink twice if you okay, because we know you in there going through it. Like, come on, man. He don't even let his girlfriend come outside. And, that's why I be saying, like, it be baby daddies like that. I don't deal with girls' baby daddies. You ain't finna get me into your mess. But, like, I ain't finna stress my baby mama out like that. She can ask me for something. Like, when it come to the kids' birthday parties, I always put in my 2 cents, you know what I'm saying? Put my little razzle-dazzle on it. And I try to help as much as possible, but you do what you can do and you make it work. I don't know if it's Corey Holcomb, man. That dude, Well, okay, Corey Holcomb got one baby mama that came out on Tasha K's. And so I was looking to because she was like Corey Holcomb's baby mama tells all story, and so he got extra kids. So I'm thinking it may be him, but then like I don't think it's him. And nothing about Corey Holcomb says that I'ma harass my baby mama. Like he ain't that type of dude. I don't think he might not be the best boyfriend, but I don't think he's that type of dude. And so it's yeah, but he talk about the other one that went on Tasha K's. He talk about the other baby mama that went on Tasha K, and he don't like her, but he don't talk about her. So, well, I don't know. I don't know. It could be anybody, but I don't think it's him. And but whoever it has to be, think about it. It got to be a comedian from the 90s because the kids are 13 and 14 or something like that. Um, you know what I'm saying? The kids was like 13 and 14, so you know what I'm saying? It's like it got to be somebody from the wait, it's 2024. No, early 2000s, from the 2000s. It gotta be a dude from the 2000s. But she looked good though. I ain't gonna lie. She looked pretty good. You know, she aged well. You know what I'm saying? Black don't crack. But however she let that first baby daddy in, man, he ruined her. Like, not ruined her, but I mean he like, yeah. Yeah, early 2000s. So that's crazy though. Wow, we got to figure them out. I've been looking, and I was seeing who was what comedian was popping back then. But like I said, like he can't be famous right now. He can't be famous right now. I mean, think about it. Now, I don't think D Ray was that popping. Well, wait. When did Barbershop come out? In the 2010s? I don't think D Ray was popping before then. Like that. And then it's definitely D Ray. So he didn't change. It could be. It could be. I don't know. We gotta find. Do D Ray got his kids? I like her eyes too, but them ain't her eyelashes. Them is some. That's a damn filter. Yeah, D Ray got two girlfriends right now. See, that's what made me think it ain't him because D Ray kind of like he kind of player. He a player. So, like I said, he can't be famous. He had to be like locally famous, but then kind of moved around in the comedy world a little bit, and must have fell off, and that's why it's probably so hard to find him. Yeah, you know, he probably living paycheck to paycheck as far as we know right now. You know, which makes her so comfortable to tell this story. Because if he was popping, this story would be everywhere. If he was popping, because people would have figured it out. They would have been like, "Oh, her baby daddy is so and so," you know. And every other comedian that I've looked up that's been popping, um, is they're like recent. Yeah, he got to be a local comedian. Marvin Dixon. I don't know. I tried to Google some, and it just wasn't popping though. It wasn't where it's at. So anyway, I guess we gonna pick up on her story another day. I'm actually finna private this live, and I'm gonna put it back out as a regular video so people can find it. Because I know people had a hard time finding the live with Destiny, and that was a good video. Thank you everybody for joining. Like I said, I'm gonna try to do some of these, do more of these um, live reactions, because just so y'all can know what actually I go through when I be watching these, and I be trying to watch the comments too. So you know, I don't do that when I'm just regularly watching these mugs. But anyway, make sure y'all. I don't know if y'all seen these boys. You know what I'm saying? Custom_freaks. Y'all can hit them up in the links in the description. Okay, if you need custom T-shirts, they do design graphics and all that good stuff. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Got me a license plate, Oklahoma Sooners. Okay, you know we got them boys. Get you a custom tumbler. Okay, everyday people, man. Thank you all for hanging in there, man. This is great. We had a wonderful time tonight. I hope y'all enjoyed yourself. Got your popcorn on. Again, you can watch this again tomorrow, if you want to. Um, Help a sister out. What you do, Lily? Um, why is it getting private? Oh, cause I'm a private, so I can edit it and put it back out, so it can be in my actual video lineup, and we can X out all the beginnings and the skips and all that thing. But man, yeah, I appreciate all y'all for tuning in, liking the video, comments. I appreciate all y'all. All the love I've been getting over these past few months. I appreciate y'all. We're gonna continue this into 2025, big dog. I got a lot of videos. I got like two. I got one new video dropping tomorrow, and I got another long series that I'm gonna start tomorrow. So we're gonna get into a whole nother series, and it's dating narcissists. Okay, this is gonna be a good one. Okay, well I hope it is. I don't know, cause I'm kind of confused on it. I'll be like, every man is a narcissist. I'm sick of being. Hey, if every man got to be a narcissist, I don't even want to see what these women narcissists look like. Cause Lord have mercy. Men, if y'all ever been tricked? Women, how many narcissists y'all done dated? Cause y'all, it's like red flags be hitting y'all all across the damn face. I be like, damn, another red flag. I try to tell people all my red flags when I be there. Okay, I've been this, I do this, I do this, just so you know. Just so you ain't out here telling no stories and making up bullshit about me, because y'all do that. Okay. Anyway,
Day and night. For some women, it can start working in as fast as 1 week.